If you've been alive longer than 20 something years, then you understand that there are people out there who get what they want, and there are people out there who don't get what they want. And of course, there's people in between. Sometimes they get what they want, sometimes they don't get what they want. However, wherever you place yourself at on that scale, what I want to do with this video is help you increase the likelihood of you getting the things that you want, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is go down these 5 different things that I've wrote down that I've tweaked in my life that has increased the chances of me getting the things that I want dramatically. Currently, right now, whether you know or don't know, I'm in a different country. That's something that I've spoken about on this channel a lot. But if you're new here, just know that there was a time where I was hoping and dreaming that I would be in these different countries, and a lot of nuances that I won't go into as far as what I want to do in these countries. But just know that these things are being realized right now, okay? So let's just go ahead and go down the list here. I'm going to try to make this video a little bit more quicker than my usual rants. So yeah, let's just go by the first one. So reasons why you're not getting what you want. The first one is your beliefs. This one is huge. This one serves as the foundation, because what your beliefs are, they are like access keys, right? They're like access codes. What these things access are different realities that are in your life. So let me give you an example. There are plenty of examples as far as, let's say that you're short, right? There's a belief that some short guys believe that, oh, girls don't like me because I'm short, okay? Now, of course, if you want that to be true, it's true. And if you don't want that to be true, it's still true. However, it's like, which one are you going to be focusing on? And that's where the beliefs come in. Because if you believe that that your height does not matter, then your brain is going to be focusing on giving you that reality. So let me explain, okay? Because a lot of people like to fight against this. But what I want you to understand is 2 realities can be true at the exact same time, okay? Girls don't like short guys, that's true. Girls do like short guys, that's true. And so because these things exist, what usually happens is your brain goes into your beliefs and it says, which one does he believe? And then it gives you whatever reality that you want. It gives you more access to that reality. So if you're a person that, because again, what a lot of guys like to do is they like to bring in logic to these things. And it's like logic doesn't work for these things because it's going to give you what you believe. Does that make sense? So again, you have to step into the spiritual world for this. You have to step into like the little woo-woo space, okay? And again, it's all based on your beliefs. So this can get very difficult because some teachers will tell you that, oh, you have to believe it even if you don't believe it's true. And it's like, yeah, that's a good starting point just to get your, get some energy investment into it. But the real change happens when you are either like around short guys who get girls, or you're a type of person who you see, like you have to go out there and see, like in real life, like a short guy getting girls. You know what I mean? For me, that happened when I used to work in a restaurant. I used to work with this guy. He was very attractive, right? Taller than me. I'm 6'1", like 3/4, right? And he was taller than me. And, he would get women's attention, but he wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't getting girls like that in and out, in and out, in and out. However, the dude who was getting the most girls, this year changed my life forever. The thing that he got the most girls, he was around 5'7", 5'6", right? And he was like the most average looking dude I've ever seen in my life. And when I talked to him, I'm like, because, you can be like average or whatever, but, you have like a mouthpiece on you or something. He had no mouthpiece. I'm talking, this dude was like a regular Ned Flanders, if you guys know. Okay, he wasn't that bad of The Simpsons. But no, he wasn't like that. But he was just like a regular, normal, average guy. But this dude was slaying. And I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. He was slaying so many women. And I learned a lot from that guy. And by learned, I mean not from him, because he wasn't doing anything. It was just, I don't know what was going on, bro. He was blessed with something. Maybe he had something I didn't know about. But I've seen that a lot. Most of the guys who I've seen who are like literally crushing it, usually are just like average looking dudes. Anyways, so that's the whole thing about your beliefs. It's one, you have to have the belief, like I believe these things, but then two, you have to have different references that say, oh, wait, I've seen this before. Look, this is proof that this exists. Oh, look, this is proof that this exists. Oh, look, this is proof that this exists. Because again, there's a lot of you guys out there that you can lie to yourself, but at the same time, you know what you're saying is bullshit, and so you're not going to believe it. But what you can't bullshit is actual proof. You know what I mean? Especially if you see it over and over and over and over again. And so thank God for the power of the internet. So you could actually look up whatever it is that you're trying to see, and then not even brainwash yourself, but give you these reference points that says, see, this does exist. Because the moment you have a new belief, if it goes against your old belief is going to try to fight it. And so you have to come up with a defense. This is what I was talking about as guys, where I say you have to be very careful when you're logical, because you have to be very careful when you're logical, because both realities exist, and it's up to you to decide which team you want to be on. Do you want to be on the team that short guys don't get girls, or do you want to be on the team where short guys do get girls? And so you have to defend it, even if you believe that you are wrong. Does that make sense? This is what I'm saying, is like, guys can't fight this with logic, because there is the opposite side to that. There is the yin in this. There is the yang in that, okay? So again, the beliefs are super important. And one thing about your beliefs is you have to reinforce these beliefs often. Most times, if you've been a long-time listener of my channel, you guys know I highly, highly, highly suggest that you get a journal, right? If you don't have a journal, you're not in the game. If you don't have a journal, you're not in the game. If you don't have a journal, you're not in the game. If you don't have the journal, you're not in the game. We just wrapped up, I want to say 2 days ago, we just wrapped up our last, group meeting. And listen, the guy who was at the end, he said he accomplished, I want to say 80, 85%, maybe even 90% of his journal that he written down at the beginning of the year. And it's like, yeah, that's how this shit works. You program, you write it in your journal, and you keep checking in on that journal, and your brain just kind of switches, says, okay, this is what we're doing, okay? Treat your journal like a GPS for your brain. Just tell your brain what you want. I want this, I want this, I want this. And things will start happening slowly but surely, okay? So again, that's the beliefs thing. I think I covered that. So yeah, that's the beliefs. It's very important that you write down what you believe, what you want, as far as in your life. Does that make sense? So keep your beliefs very fixated on what it is that you want to happen right now, okay? That's going to help you a lot in going after what you want in the present moment, or at least in the next 30, 60, 90 days, okay? So that's number one. Number two, thoughts. Again, super important. I told you guys already that once you have the beliefs, then you have to pick what team that you're on. Your beliefs should tell you what team that you're on. A very good example of this is God. There are a lot of you guys, a lot of subscribers of mine who believe in God, and there are a lot of subscribers who don't believe in God, okay? But again, which team are you on? Whether you think it's real or it's not, they both are correct according to your beliefs. But how much of a diehard are you when it comes to this belief, that you believe it's real? How do you back that up? And again, these are the things that you're going to be telling yourself. You're going to be, quote unquote, brainwashing yourself. You're going to say, oh yeah, God is real, this, because this, you see this miracle, that's nothing but God. When you look at science and you go to the macro or the micro, you just see nothing but God. Everything is working in unison. Look at that. There's nothing but God. Look, synchronicity, that's nothing but God. So you see what I'm saying? If you hear me talking like that, or if you hear one of your friends talking like that, do you think they're going to be team God or team no God? Again, stop believing that there is a right or a wrong answer. It's simply right for your life. Does that make sense? What a lot of people do, especially if you're a thinker or if you're logical, you try to get everybody to be on the same team as you because you believe that you are, quote unquote, right, when the reality is that they are both right, okay? And so you want to make sure that you're not trying to convince other people, but you're really trying to convince yourself. Because anybody who has God in their life, who is an active follower of God, who really wants like the benefits of being a believer, you understand how much God has helped you and blessed you in your life, okay? And as much as you can change, as much as you want to share that with other people, it's very important that you hold that belief within yourself first so you can keep receiving the benefits. Does that make sense? So the thoughts are very important. You want to make sure that your thoughts are aligned with your beliefs. Now, here's the hard part. Like I said, the brain has anywhere from 50,000 plus thoughts a day, right? And so you want to make sure that you are being aware enough, and awareness can come from things like meditation, right? That helps a lot with awareness. That's the only one I got for you. So you want to make sure that the thoughts that you're having are, again, aligned with your beliefs. So if you have a negative thought, if you have a belief that's on the other team, you want to stop that thought in its track and then trade it for a new thought. I learned this technique because when I was studying neuroscience, they were talking about the brain if in order to take something away from the brain, you have to replace it with something. So a lot of guys would be like, oh, I'm ugly. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not, right? But you're not replacing that belief with anything. And so if somebody says, oh, I'm ugly, you take that thought, you neutralize it by saying, like, I'm not ugly, or I don't believe that, and then you replace it with a new belief. I believe that I'm attractive, or I believe, and again, this can get as complicated as you want to. It's like, I believe I'm a 7.5. I believe I'm a 6, right? And a 6 is not unattractive. You get what I'm saying? So again, you have to, it's something that you play around with. I can't say do exactly this because I don't know exactly who you are and if that's going to benefit your life. I can only give you generals and then hope that you use the specifics to help your life, okay? You just want to make sure that the thoughts that you're having consistently are aligned with what it is that you actually believe. And if your thoughts are not, you want to just slowly but surely take the process of what I call unlearning and relearning. Unlearn that belief, trade it, and then that belief will come, okay? So that's that. That's your thoughts. That's number 2. Number 3, actions, aka the work. The number 3 is the thing that a lot of people want to avoid. They want to avoid this because they haven't accepted that there's a lot of things that you're going to have to do in the world in order for you to get what you want. Now, let me say this. What I'm learning now, and again, I was a person that said, you know what, let me just shut up and just do this work. I did the work, and a lot of things happened for me. However, I'm at the point now that I'm not afraid of working, or that I'm okay with working, that a lot of things come to me a lot easier, right? And it's not because I'm doing a whole bunch of work. It's simply because I've aligned my beliefs and my thoughts. But again, because a lot of guys will use that as an excuse to not do no work. But what I'm saying is you're gonna have to be able to say, you know what, I'm ready to do the work. Really have to believe that and do that work. Because there are some parts of this that you're going to have to do the work for, okay? Whether that's making a whole bunch of money or trying to get something in your life to change, whatever. You have to be prepared for the work. Not to confuse you, but again, it aligns with your beliefs. A lot of you guys believe that, I don't have to do any work and I still get everything that I want. I've seen people like that, and it works for them, okay? But again, there's some of you out there that it's like, no, you're gonna have to do that work. And so you want to make sure that you're not afraid of the work. And if it's a process, whether that's a 1 week process, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months process, you're going to make sure you do that work. And here's the thing. Let me give you guys this example before I move on. I was talking to a guy, and he was talking about how he needs to make more money so he can use that money to then buy education material so he can start learning new skills. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. Like, what's the deal with the job? And he's like, well, I can't find a job. And I'm like, why can't you find a job? He said, well, I don't have like my parents' car. And I'm like, why don't you walk? And he's like, because I live far away. And it's like, okay, like get to walking. I don't know what else to tell you. Because again, that's the thing. It's like, people will say these things, but it's because you're not trying hard enough. You're not putting that effort into it. You're not showing the world that, listen, I'm serious about this, right? I remember when I was younger, I wanted a job, and I was putting in application after application, and nothing was happening. And I said, you know what? And I made this decree with myself. I said, I'm going to leave this house, and I'm not coming back home until I find a job. You know how long it took me to find a job? Like I think it was like the 5th place that I visited, and I went there and I said, hey, you guys hiring? I'm looking for a job. He was like, yes, I am. When can you start? I said, tomorrow. He said, okay, you're hired. I can pay you this much. I was like, okay, great. And then boom, I had the job. And I think it was simply because I made that decree and I meant the shit. I was like, I'm not going home. I'll go to every business around in my area until I get a job. And again, it was really that simple. Okay. Now, of course, again, if you're trying to go for like a CEO position, I'm sure that's going to work a lot a bit differently than if you're trying to be like a janitor or something. You get what I'm saying. But again, that aligns with my beliefs. You feel me? It's the same thing, bro. You just got to be very careful about the things that you're saying. But just as far as the work aspect, understand that when you decide to, like, you know what, I'm going to sit down and do this work, that's going to happen. And that kind of leads me to number 4, which is support. And I'm so glad that I'm able to mention this, because I want to shout out to my guy. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but you know who you are, bro. I want to say it's Thick Boy, bro. You know who you are, bro. He's been a client of mine since I want to say either September or October, right? And he was simply fed up with his life. He was simply fed up with basically being childish, bro. And he wasn't taking his life seriously. And he was like, you know what, I'm ready to do the work. But that came into the 4th aspect, what I'm talking about right now, which is support. He needed that support. And so the moment he came on to, I guess, my coaching or accountability, whatever you want to call it, discipline, we went on to that. Bro, one of the goals that he had was he was trying to go from, I want to say 200, it was either 240 or 230 pounds. And he wanted to go to under 200. And it literally took him, oh, bro, I wish I could say. It was October, November, and then he sent me a picture in December. I want to say it's December, right? I have to double check. But he sent me a picture in December of him reaching 197. So that's, I want to say 30, 40, 50-pound loss, right? And it was all because that he decided, 1, he was going to do the work, and 2, he had the support, because, of course, I was there. Not the entire way, but you get what I'm saying, right? Check in on them and all this other stuff. And so there's just some people who they either need to spend money or they need to find somebody who believes in them more than they believe in themselves, and then magic happens. It's freaking powerful. And so, yeah, I just want to say congratulations to him. But again, there's a lot of guys out there that are like, oh, I'm not spending no money, I'm not buying this, or I'm not doing this, or I'm not going to this person, or I'm not being vulnerable, I'm not asking for help. And it's like, yeah, that's really bad, especially when you realize that everything in the world is like a kinetic chain where we all influence each other. And so if you need help, if you're trying to lone wolf it's probably the worst thing that you can do as far as getting the things that you want. A good example of this, I want to say there's a book called, please, I hope this is the name of the book. It's like eight degrees of separation or something like that. Essentially, the book, what it talks about is whoever you're trying to get in contact with, you're 8 people away from knowing that person. And I watched a person do this live, right? It wasn't even the author of the book. It was just a random guy. And they were he was like, I'm trying to meet, the person raised their hand like, I'm trying to meet Obama, right? And of course, everybody starts laughing and stuff. But then they start getting to work and they're like, okay, who knows anything to do with Obama? And somebody says, I know a person who's into political science. And then they were like, the person who's in political science, like the person was in the classroom, right? And so the person who's in political science, he was like, I know an organization that works for the Obama team. And then they called the person who worked on it's not Obama's team, but he like works on the campaign for the state. And then he said, is there any way that you can get in touch with Obama? He said, I can get you in touch with the secretary who is in touch with Obama. It was crazy, right? Because they basically got to him within like 6 people. And it was like that. It's just very powerful. And if you realize that, it's like whatever it is that you need help with, usually you're 8 people away. And if you can go out there and you're a social butterfly, or you can have conversations, or you're willing to do the work, aka number 3, if you want to do that, it's like, bro, you're a lot closer to the things that you want, especially the job market. A lot of people use that for the job market. They go on LinkedIn and they friend people, and then boom, they know somebody who can get them a job, and yada, yada. Okay, so that's number 4, support. Number 5, the last one that I'm going to leave you guys with is guidance. Again, there are a lot of you guys that you have no idea what you're doing. And so it's very important that you pay somebody who knows what they're doing so you could get a shortcut. And I can't believe that I waited so long to start coaching or spending money on coaches, because you guys seen, like, there was an interview I did, I want to say a couple months ago. The guy, he was a virgin until he was 25, right? And then the moment he paid for a coach, he lost his virginity. And it's like, yeah, that's how that works. Now, whether you want his goal or not, it doesn't matter. It's about, did he accomplish the goal that he was after? And it was yes, because he hired an expert who knew exactly where he was on that journey, because he used to be on that journey, and then he told him exactly what to do. He followed that thing, and then guess what? The thing that he wanted to happen happened. Honestly, I think the fastest one I say is beliefs for sure. But the second or third fastest thing to get the things that you want is simply getting that guidance on having somebody teach you to do it. All right. Now that's more of a higher price tag. But again, it's like you have to be doing number 3, which is the work, in order to make that money and then pay for that guidance. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. I tried to keep this video very short. It ended up being long anyway. But just understand, bro, it's like if you, whatever those 5 things in your life, ask yourself, what are some things that I need to be putting more effort and energy into? Are those things that I can tweak in my life? Because at the moment you start tweaking it, bro, I promise you that whatever it is that you're trying to make happen is going to happen a lot faster, a lot sooner, just because you're tweaking the things that actually matter. And this is coming from somebody who's been doing this for roughly 10 to 12 years, okay? To the point now where the things that I used to wish for, it's popping up in my life, and they're happening a lot more frequently. It's almost kind of scary, but it's not scary because, my beliefs are just like, what else is supposed to happen? I get the opposite, you know what I mean? So that's what I have for you guys today. Use it if you want. Use it if you don't want to use it. You think I'm BSing? I mean, cool. But yeah, man, whoever this helps, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any comments, or you want to mention anything. Maybe you've gone through this before and you want to share it with the guys, let me know. But other than that, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one. All right, peace out.